Everybody, welcome to the Old School Game Snob channel, and today we are going to be doing what is right around a 400,000 credit per hour trade run. Very safe trade run, very minimal threat from piracy and that sort of thing, using the Anvil Carrack. And warning, we are going to be cheesing the system just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. We're going to be making use of the Anvil Carrack's medical bay, which we have set as our respawn point, and the reason for that is, of course, to be able to save on some running around time, and instead of running around, we're just going to basically respawn back in our ship and yeah, continue on our trade route. So that's going to cut quite a few minutes off of, well, it's going to cut a few minutes off of a few things. Number one, as long as the weather's not too strong, we're not going to have to land our ship entirely. So that's going to save a bit of time. Number two, we're not going to have to run back to the ship, get into the ship, and go through all of this elevator process and all of this sort of stuff. We will still have to get out, of course, but the getting back in is going to be quite a bit faster, especially when it comes to running through the New Babbage Trade Commons area. That's a few minute run each direction, so that's going to save quite a bit of time. And ultimately, I've completed this run in about 16 minutes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to jump. I'm just going to leap right off the lamp. You can fall pretty far, it seems like, on Microtech, and you don't die. So let's get this trade route started. I'm gonna start the timer as soon as we actually purchase the goods. We'll be trading astatine from astatine. We'll be trading something or other from one of the Shubland facilities. It doesn't really matter which one. Astatine, the astatine. We are purchasing for 320, and we're going to be selling for about 410, I believe, give or take. So this might be just below, maybe just below 400,000 an hour, depending on how quickly we can do it. So let me just see here. I'm gonna get the timer ready here and purchase astatine, and we will do one complete round trip. So we're buying for 320, and the timer is started, and we're going to be selling for about 410. So I'm just going to now force my respawn to save that running back to the ship time. And again, we save time in landing, because landing a Carrack is kind of slow. They wobble, let's say wobble around quite a bit on landing, so it can take a couple minutes sometimes to land successfully. Whereas respawning in the medical bay on the Anvil Carrack works, well, quite a bit faster. Quite a bit faster. You just jump out of the ship without landing, you put her into hover, and then, yeah, you respawn back in. So like I say, we are cheesing the system a bit here, but considering the state of 30k crashes on the current build of things, I dare say whatever you can do to actually get your credits banked, just do it for now. You know, do it so you can buy ships and test other gear and equipment and components and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, so I did this exact run. This is from Shubland 10, although it could be from any of the Shubland stations, to New Babbage, and we will be shortcutting our arrival at New Babbage. We will be, of course, not using the spaceport to dock, because that would add quite a bit of extra time onto our run. We will be landing right at the surface entrance to New Babbage Commons, and we'll be just making a beeline for the trading center, and then we'll be respawning back. And the nice thing about the Anvil Carrack for atmospheric flight is actually it has quite a bit more thrust power compared to the Drake Caterpillar, which is what I initially did this trade run with. There's a video up on my channel which is I think it's about 250,000 per hour with the Drake Caterpillar, whereas by comparison we're going to be doing close to 400,000 an hour with the Anvil Carrack, which is a smaller SCU capacity. It's about 100 SCU less, maybe a little bit more. But because we're going to be getting in and out of the atmosphere faster, and because we're going to be cheesing the respawn system a bit, this is actually going to become the more lucrative run. So, just got my position aligned here. And the more you do this, of course, the more you make a habit out of it. This is only my third or fourth run on this. I basically wanted to test the theory and see if this was going to be faster than the Drake Caterpillar, and yeah, I think so. Like I say, we're cheesing the system a bit, so if you're a purist, you want to play the game exactly as intended. At some point, I believe characters are going to have something like a sort of, well, a strict penalty for death. I'm not exactly sure all the details yet. Probably they haven't all been fleshed out yet, but at some point, respawning is not really going to be an option. But yeah, during alpha, if you need to get credits, you want to test new ships, you want to get new weapons, you want to, you know, explore different parts of the game, and you get 30k crashes that really set you back. I don't know. I say take whatever advantage the game currently offers, because it is absolutely providing us with a whole host of unintended challenges. You know, like I say, crashing and losing our entire last couple hours of cargo running, right? That sort of thing. That's not good. That can be a bit of a setback. I've had that happen quite a few times now. So yeah, if you're new to this trade route, what we're doing is we're looking for the spaceport, which is that big building, that very big building, detached from the rest of the city. You can't even see it yet, because it is way up there, right under my mouse cursor. And then what we do, and I'm going to turn the lights on a bit by going into third person, is we follow those two tram lines that split into a fork. We follow those towards the city, and then we see one of them branch off towards 4 glowing domes. Glowing at night, not glowing in the daytime, obviously. But those 4 glowing domes all together, that's what we're heading for. We're headed for the middle dome. And that is the surface entrance for the trade center, for the commons area and the trade center. So, depending on weather, I may or may not land the ship on the ice, on the frozen ice lake. If it's good weather, I could actually just put the ship into hover, jump right out, and that would save time. If it's windy and stormy, the ship will blow around a whole bunch, and so consequently, you can't really put it in hover and just leave it there, because yeah, it'll start blowing away, and that's not so good, especially in New Babbage area where it can blow into a whole bunch of things. Not such a big deal. At the Shublin centers, that seems like you could just let it hover and it'll blow over some trees or something like that, no big deal. But here in New Babbage, there's a lot of little geometries you can crash right into. So we're at 5 minutes and 46 seconds so far, and I'm wondering if I should land the ship or if I should just try to, well, hit the brakes, hit the space brakes. Try not to crash into anything here. Wouldn't make for much of a trade run video if I crashed and blew up all my cargo. Oop, because I got my afterburners on, no wonder. Oh, not my afterburners, I got my cruise control on. So it seems like we're pretty steady here. It seems like we're not really moving too much. So I'm actually just going to hop out right here and make a beeline to the trade district. You save time on landing. That's good stuff. But yeah, like I say, if you got wind and weather and your ship blows around, this can be a bit of a risky maneuver. But if it's calm and your ship doesn't move, well, it's kind of good. It also makes it, I think, pretty much impossible for anyone to board your ship if it's sitting there and hover. You'll use a little bit more hydrogen fuel, of course, and you'll need to, and that will, take a little bit of the profits. You can refill your hydrogen fuel, by the way, at the Shublin station. It's a little bit pricey, but not too bad in the overall equation of things. So yeah, I should be okay to jump from there. No problem. Worst case scenario, yeah, that would, you know, I seem to be blowing around a little bit. Worst case scenario, you know, you respawn in the Carrack medical bay, right? If you jump from too high or something goes wrong, yeah, you respawn in the Carrack medical bay, which is another nice reason to have it. You can practice your jumping out of ship height levels and determine exactly what's safe to do. For some reason, yeah, you seem to be able to jump from pretty high up. Maybe that's a Microtech thing having to do with the gravity on Microtech, or maybe that's just a Star Citizen thing. I'm not really too sure. But it works. It just works. It works for now. Like I say, we're kind of cheesing the system a little bit here. We're taking some shortcuts. But hey, that's the idea, right? We're trying to make 400,000 credits an hour. That's a pretty good little clip. So yeah, we gotta take the shortcuts that we can take. Speaking of shortcuts, take off your armor. I haven't done it. I've got light armor on, and it's slowing me down by about 10% movement speed. If you got heavy armor, that'll slow you down by about 20% movement speed. But if you're just in a flight suit, well, then you're running as fast as you possibly can. And since this running portion takes a few minutes, if you can, you know, shave 30 seconds off, that's, you know, that adds up. Not a lot, but it adds up a little bit. Every little bit you can do to get extra speed if you're trying to really maximize your credits per hour. Every little bit helps. And yeah, it's a fairly decent little jog from one end to the other. So yeah, 320 was our buying price, so I think we're going to be making about 90,000 on this. Selling from the Carrack, acetane gas, all source cargo, 410. So yeah, that would be 320 to 410 is of course 90,000. And we are at 9 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. So we did that. Let's do a quick force respawn. Perfectly fine, nobody come to my aid. This is normal, just taking a rest. Busy space trucking, no problems. Nobody seems too concerned, so it's all good. So I respawn in the medical bay of the Carrack, which is hovering where I left it. Takes a second or two to be allowed to get out of the bed. And then the nice thing about this is it's a straight line to the bridge. Open sesame. Open. Kind of interesting. You have to actually click all the doors to open them for some reason. And wow, we're really starting to drift here. Okay, it's probably time to blast off before we crash into something. So that is, yeah, the hazard of potentially setting your ship to drift, but you know, if you can be drifting in a safe location, safe direction anyway, yeah, it should be okay. It should be okay. It's a little bit of risk, but yeah, we're going for record credits here. I like to use the afterburner just a little bit to help get the speed up as I'm exiting the atmosphere. I just tend to go straight up. I don't think there's necessarily an improvement with going at an angle. I don't necessarily think your speed is much better. So I just tend to aim for 90 degrees and yeah, go straight up. Careful not to overheat your flight systems. You don't want to lose your engines because that'll of course cut into your time. And once you're kind of up to speed, it's a good idea to lock in your location so that you're not searching around for it. You got a minute or two to lock in your location, and that way, yeah, you can just pick it up that much quicker, that much easier for the next phase. We need to get to 11,500 meters to execute our jump, give or take 11,500. But since we're in a Carrack and it's kind of got a slow turning, I kind of tend to start turning a little bit sooner. Actually, I left it a little bit longer than I usually do there. And the atmosphere can sometimes mess up your turn a bit. So if you start turning a little bit sooner, start balancing yourself out, you can possibly save a little bit of time. I gained an extra 2,000 meters to what I needed there. And again, the more you do this, the more you'll work out these tiny little nuances, shave a few seconds off here, a few seconds off there. I don't know, when you're space trucking, what do you do, right? Oh, damn, there goes my spool. Oh, I missed. missed. That's not fair. That'll add another 30 seconds. But that's okay. I'm going to shave that off of my estimate because normally that shouldn't happen. There we go. So we are at 12 minutes and 34 seconds right now.
Landing gear raised.
"12 minutes and 57 seconds. I dare say we have to make it down in about the next 2 minutes if I'm going to fairly title this video at 400,000 an hour, which is what I want to do, because it's a nice round number.
Quantum drive is now
So I'm going to boogie here as much as I can.
warning, engines overheating.
Tiny bit of afterburning here.
Overheating.
And at this, you know, I've done a few runs here. I'm almost out of hydrogen fuel, so if I was actually not just making a video here, I would probably use this run to pick up my hydrogen fuel from the Shovlin facility. But since this is a timed run, I'm going to skip that step. And instead, the goal is to get to where we're going as fast as we can. So yeah, we might be slightly under 400,000 here per hour. Maybe what would I add? We're at 14 minutes and 20 seconds, and like I say, that quantum drive mishaps probably set us back about 30 seconds. So we're probably at about 14 minutes fairly here. And I'm going to put us at 14 and a half minutes, factoring in the quantum mishap. And we're just about to dock here. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my building, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to hit the space brakes. And as I'm just above the facility, not too high up, just the right amount, open up the cargo bay doors, jump out. And yeah, we'll see what kind of time we get. We're at just about 16 minutes here. Yeah, we seem to be able to jump from pretty good heights. And yeah, once we hit the trade terminal, I'm going to call that a completed run. And yeah, so we're at about 16 minutes here, so right around 16 minutes. So right around 90,000 credits per 16 minutes puts you right around 360,000 credits per hour. I think that's going to complete this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, got something out of it. And I hope to see you all in the next one.